want to welcome Kamali to the
no doubt. We got to welcome our third guest. You know, my niece. She just came from her rest.
her nap.
Yeah, she just came from her rest, so she joining the show. You know, one of my first times being there. Look, she gave the show a smile. Hi.
Kamali is the executive producer of any set she's on. Okay, so we'd like to welcome Kamali to the set. Fee, when you talked about the experience with the state provided insurance, that's part of the global problem around illiteracy and grief. Is that although we're human beings, we're seldomly afforded the opportunity to do that. To be a human being, they expect us to be human doings, right? That you have to do something. What's your title? What do you do? It's ingrained to like who we are. So nobody is upholding the fact that self-work is noble work, right? That's right, Kamali, she know about it. That taking time to investigate your feelings is noble work. That taking time to not be pulled into the wave of busyness, because busy don't mean better. And we saw that during the pandemic, right? That certainly busy was no longer the currency to measure how important or how impactful you were. The things we began to value was time to sort out our feelings, to be present with our babies, to tell the system, hold up, bruh, let me tend to my baby real quick. So in seeing this as like a operational pillar that capitalism lies on, I knew I wasn't gonna let them mishandle my wife. Capitalism already mishandles black people poorly, and it mishandles women poorly, and it mishandles black women the worst. So if I know that, why am I gonna let the state take care of what I said is my responsibility? So that love required me to learn how to serve different, how to listen different. And what we found was Felicia's writing became a gift to us all. If I was blessed to have the ability to give her room to process her feelings, what she was going to process was going to feed the village, because her level of investigation was so fine-tuned that she was producing bars, right? And I'm like, oh, this must mean there's something there. And we knew that the Soul Affirmation series had started from my investigation of grief. I was actually working on another book, right? And I got to a chapter on forgiveness, and I didn't want to write it in an inauthentic tone. I didn't want to like try to like hurry up and get by it, because to really be where I'm from and experience my brother's death, there ain't no quick conversation getting over that.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you too is, I mean, I know 2014, 2019 is 5 years, but that's nothing in terms of grief. And I also know when you have a brother, and, you know, I have brothers, but I also have a large family of cousins, male cousins that we grew up like brothers. I don't know how you didn't see blood in your eye.
Let me tell you like this. The absolute thing was I was consumed by the idea of wanting blood. And that consumption is like a perversion, I would call it, because it's not natural to want blood like that only and pursue it. Every human being is multi-layered. I don't care. The coldest and the hardest of the gangsters we knew growing up had multiple sides, right? And some days was just about serving. Some days was about passing on the game. So I was consumed to a place, but it was so difficult to take direct action because of the circumstances, right? So you had to also be okay with innocent casualties, but that would mean that I couldn't ensure that the rest of my brothers will be safe, because it's never that pretty. It's never that pretty, bro.
Never goes as planned.
It never goes.
Right.
But having that wisdom is what has helped me stand in some of these spaces. The whole thing is this, bro. It's not about.
Wait. Let me say this on my show.
Yeah.
I know so many people who moved on their emotion, and I can't tell you that I'm mature enough at this point to not necessarily move on mine, but I salute you for not moving on your emotion. How you can grow up, go through this, know that it's immature, but not follow what would make you feel good. A lot of times in the moment, with taking what you said into account, nothing ever happens as planned. There could be casualties and all of that. But a lot of times experiences like that brings the demon out in people. Even in the slang, you know, right now they call it demon time.
Yep.
So I'm just saying, I salute you, because I brought you on the show because of that kind of strength that I want for myself.
I have a deep level of respect of what you have said to me on and off the air concerning my growth and development, right? And the thing about emotions is that they feel most right, most appropriate, and they make the most sense in the moment. I'd experienced enough losses to know that like the moment is longer than I can see. Is that right, Kamali? The moment is longer than I can see. But also, I'm not even trying to be like romantic in any sense. This book, that book, and none of this podcast would have happened today had we got shit popping the way we could have got shit popping. And it isn't because I needed this book or to evolve. It's that my emotion. Have you ever been on a hike? You ever looked over like the cliffside, like once you got up to like some level near the peak? I don't know if you've ever experienced this like slight feeling of dizziness, or just like the space is so massive, you realize like, God damn, I'm small.
Felt that before.
If you could feel that small on a hike, how much smaller are your emotions? Right? Because they're just passing and fleeting. We're a human being, and these feelings pass through us all the time. So if I'm this small in the moment, how small are my worries? Right? That's something I often ask myself on hikes. If I'm this small in the moment, how large are my worries? But I've used that as a metric to help me manage my emotions, because I want to grow by what challenges me. I'm not trying to have no shit just X me out because I was at my capacity, and I don't get to grow under my conditions, right? We all got OGs and people who have mentored us who spend time on the inside and they experience their personal growth there. I didn't want those terms for my growth. I don't trust the system. I distrust the system to every extent possible. I don't like prisons. I don't trust schools. I taught in them for 13 years and never trusted the institution, right? So I couldn't forfeit all the investment of who I'm called to be and turn it over to a system and have them put me on a schedule on when I was going to grow. But that's not just like because I get it. It's because I seen the shit, right? I got homies who did amazing growth, but the terms of their growth was inhumane.